the diode can store the charges that is already stored, and it can last even as long as your phone, for those that meant to design and meant to get or hear what you have to say. Once you are back online, all of that can be uploaded. And now that goes me into the message, because as we are speaking into the word of God, we all know so there are people that don't believe in God that we may listen to this message. We know that the message that you have today, as I bring it to you, is meant to touch your life. As you know, our ministry brings God into your life. It brings God to manifest in your life and for help you to see God in everything that you do. For God is in the nature of the things that God has made, and so nature is also in God that has made them. God that has created them. So, but you're going to find that some people don't agree with that because they don't believe. But it doesn't matter whether they agree or not. What matters is that we believe in God as God and one and only true God. You'll find that, like some of you, especially for those that have a problem understanding how these things are all related together, but I can look at it from the point of law. And I am not saying here that I'm a lawyer. This is not a legal advice I'm about to give you. But I want you to understand that it is so that if I decide to practice law tomorrow, nobody will say, oh, you were practicing law before you joined and become a part of any bar. But I just want to be clear that I am not a lawyer practicing to give you any legal advice. But I'm trying to reason with you from the point of reference where you may be agree. And for majority of the soldiers, this may be strange to you. But I want to bring it into the nature of the things that we do in the secular or secularity of life, because you don't live in church all the time and your head is not buried in the word of God, because you encounter people who are ungodly and you are a member of the society. You're supposed to pass through this world. So it's important for you to understand what you hear, especially from your politicians, that most of the problem that people have around the world is because somebody must have given them a wrong advice, somebody they depended on. Like we hear, and I use Nigeria based on the experience and what we know. And even in this country, have you heard a story? For most of you have been told. For those that are in positions of power and those that sit in a large and bigger pulpit, trying to convince the people of the world. And you will think that these people, though many of them have PhDs, but the PhDs does not come from a PhD that was honestly earned. Because of the same bribery and corruption, they got a piece of paper because they don't talk or act like people who has a PhD. Instead, they have earned PhD or doctorate in whatever they have earned. What we call here in America, pull him down. PhD stands for pull him down. You see somebody climbing up, you pull him down. If you see somebody trying to succeed in life, you pull him down. That's where they have earned their PhD. So they have a doctorate to learn how to pull people down with lies and deceptions. The soldiers do not do that. The people that you pull down are the wicked and evil people, people that make a dishonest gain, but not people that make an honest gain. People that prosper in their life, those that God has blessed, you don't touch and pull those people down. Here in the hood we call it crab mentality. If you ever see a crab, capture a lot of crabs and put them in a basket, and you will see them all trying to climb out of the basket, crab basket. And as they're doing so, they are pulling each other down. The other one will go up, the other one will climb on top of the other one and bring him down. Look around you. And the reason why we are throwing a lot of things out, I know probably most of the soldiers will be wondering, but these things doesn't concern us. But you have to remember that your concern is not yourself. It is about somebody else who is your brother or your sister. Somebody who may be a stranger, because you're supposed to win them souls and bring them in. So it's not just only about a message that ministers to you. And by the way, it ministers to everybody, because it makes you to become conscious and aware of things that be boundaries that you cannot cross. People, they say they have a doctorate and they're educated, but they have no critical thinking. Critical thinking is a core principle of enlightenment, and they say they are enlightened. And you look at those that they are leading, and you look at their life, it reflects wickedness and evil. So what is enlightened about that? As the soldiers, you have to ask yourself, how come Prophet Muhammad loved Jesus and has told all the people that believe in Islam to honor Jesus Christ as a prophet? One of the greatest prophets is in Quran. So we're not just telling you something that is not written in the Quran. And if you go to the Buddhists, they will tell you they love Jesus Christ because he was one of them. He is the enlightened one of the most enlightened, because they go by their enlightenment. That's how they go about reaching to the highest level. And he said that Jesus Christ is one of them because he was schooled and taught by them. So they don't disagree with Christ. So what is the confusion and disagreement about? Christianity. That a lot of people want to stamp Christianity out because of lies and deceptions, false doctrines, because of hypocrisy, because they are not living a life that reflects Christ. Who can say that Christ is